Hi, I'm Christian Ganiere, and this is the Break It Down Show.
That's right. I'm at Christian's house. We're talking about Stranger Things. He is one of the characters, one of the subjects that Matthew Modine is practicing his magic on. And I thought it'd be cool to come to his house and get him in his home environment. His dad and mom are both in show business. That's pretty interesting. So I guess my first question to you is going to be when you want to start in this business, you've got a great advantage. You live right by the business. Your folks are in the business. Does that even matter to you though when you think like, I think I want to become an actor because you've been at this for a while.
Yeah, the that's why I joined, but that's not why I'm staying in it. I joined because all my sisters were doing it, and my father's a director and my mother's a writer, so we were all really in the business. So I just joined along for the ride, and if I didn't like it, I wouldn't still be doing it. So I love what I do. I think it's amazing, so I continue doing it, and I really enjoy it.
Are you still getting better?
I think I am. I mean, I will admit some of my first stuff, it was not very good, but I think I'm getting better.
Did you get paid for that first stuff?
Yes, I did.
Of course, right? Yeah. What kind of actor are you? Because like in this movie, you're acting, but if you're just watching it as a viewer, what I see is like a whole bunch of kids that look the same. They're all kind of like, institutionalized, right? And so I'm not saying that you don't get to act, but it's not like a thing where like you're really the main focus, right? You're playing a part to kind of almost you almost play like an institution and a piece within it. So what kind of actor are you? Like what are the roles that you want to do?
Um, as a kid, I've wanted to do more comedy, but then I started going more towards dramatic roles because I realized I'm better at them, and I just like them overall to see the character progression, and also they're more intense, and intensity is what I love. And a good role is intense and lots of emotion. So that's the one thing that I really love about them.
You were so young. How do you learn how to show emotion? Like I stub my toe, I probably make the same faces when I drink bad coffee or something. But how do you because you're just getting started. I mean, you could be 25 years old and I'll be like, you're still so young. How do you develop these emotions as an actor that you need to have to play? And then also being emotionless almost as you were in Stranger Things.
Yeah, I learned at a very young age, I learned to overplay them and how to do it like more bigger emotions, but then I realized how to do them more subtle, but still show everything. So I can be like so sad and try not to show it, but you can see inside that I'm not like,
Yeah.
but I'm still sad.
Yeah. Yeah. And when the director is asking you to go somewhere sad or whatever it is, do you feel like you need to trust them or do you just turn it on? And because some actors are like, I need to trust the director. I need to know that they care about me and will pull me back out of these emotions when the time comes. Talk to people like that. Or do you feel like you're more just like, you want sad? Great, here it comes. Bam. Get the camera going. Here comes sad.
Yeah, I've mostly been like that. I'm just like, okay, what you want is the final decision, so that's what I gotta do. I haven't really questioned them. I mean, sometimes I've been like, I feel like this should be more like this, just based on what I've seen in movies before. I feel like this is more how they would react. And I did that on the set of Root Kindling Christmas, which my mom wrote, my father directed, and I said that, and I gave a little direction, not like a ton to change the whole storyline, but, they liked it and they were like, "Oh, okay." And then they thought about it and they were like, "Actually, yeah, I do like that." So, yeah.
How do you maintain a professional actor's demeanor when your mom is the writer, she's sitting there, and then your dad is the director? Like, how do you not like roll your eyes and do like be a kid, be their son versus be like a professional actor?
Well, I've been taught, from a very young age that, set is where you have to be professional, and you can only joke around and goof around, but only when the cameras are off and only when it's the right time. So, yeah, I've learned to respect the sets, and whatever you do on there, make sure that it's allowed. So, Yeah, I'd say they trained me pretty well to do that, and so I've just kept it. And so doing it with them was more or less just doing it with a bunch of friends that I've known for a very long time. But it was awesome to do it with them.
Your dad's sitting just off on my shoulder over here. Is he a good director or no?
Oh man, I mean, you'll have to watch the movie and ask if you think he did a good job. I
Pitch the
think he
movie
did
again. What's the
amazing.
movie? What's the movie called?
No More Goodbyes. It's gonna be coming out next year. It's about two foster brothers that go on the run to avoid getting split up.
Love it. All right, good, good, good. What's your favorite role that you've played thus far?
I don't know. I mean, in Stranger Things, I did have superpowers.
Yeah,
I haven't had superpowers yet,
yeah, yeah. Fat
so
lot of good it did you though.
yeah. I don't know. I think superpowers overthrows all of them.
Do you think if there's additional seasons of Stranger Things, do you think that they'll come back to you and be like, hey, we need number 10 to play? That B actually isn't dead. He actually was, because anybody can come back in Stranger Things,
Oh yeah.
reincarnated down on the upside down. But do you hope to do more work with that franchise?
Dude, I'd be so excited to
Yeah,
do that. That'd be awesome. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything,
yeah.
but my bones weren't broken like everyone else, and also I had no blood on me. So we'll see what happens.
You've got a chance. Well, and what's his name? The Australian actor that died in the last season. He still had parts this year. Little stuff, but he was still getting paid to be around. Do you and your friends like to do like when I was a kid? We had video camera. You run around and you kind of like um, do your own shooting of whatever silly kind of things. We did like Indiana Jones, that kind of thing. Do you and your friends do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Legos. I've loved Legos for a very long time, and so I did a lot of stop motion animation with Legos as a kid, and man, I was terrible at it. I would cut from one scene to another, and it would look like it's a different day. It would look like I'm halfway through the year, and then it would look like I'm in summer. So, um, yeah, it wasn't good, but I've gotten better at it, and so, um, but yeah, I'd love to do stop motion animation. I've done some videos, but they weren't anything interesting. They were just us goofing around.
Yeah, but I don't know if you know that show, The Goldbergs, but that all started because this guy Goldberg was a video, up and coming videographer movie. So he made all these, like family movies, and then he would write his own movies and shoot them, that kind of thing. And now he's got this smash hit, sitcom where at the end they'll show like the clip from these little things that he made. Like he kept them. It's like an archive of great things. And for again, a lot of us from the 80s, we look at that and like, oh man, we should have kept those videos. Dang it, where are they? And then done something with them. But they have value potentially in the future if you can save them. Is that something that interests you at all? Or
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, I've never heard of that, but that's totally that's totally something I'd love to do. That sounds awesome. Um, yeah, I wish I had kept those videos. That's
yeah,
genius.
yeah, it was really smart the way he tied it in and everything because he has. It's almost like the writing was based off of, hey, we have this movie, let's watch it, and let's make it an episode off of it. You know, pretty cool. What projects do you have coming up right now?
Well, I'm going to Comic-Con from the 21st to 24th at San Diego. It's gonna be San Diego Comic-Con. I'm gonna be doing signings, as well as I'm going to be on a panel with my fellow co-star number 2 on Stranger Things. Um, so that's gonna be lots of fun, as well as I'm going to be doing a horror film this fall, and I will be playing the villain.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's talk about Stranger Things because that's the main thing. So you get cast as number 10. There's a lot of numbers. They go up to 11 as far as I remember. Did you have any idea? Like, did you read and go, "Oh man, I hope I get number 10 or I hope I get number 2?" I mean, they probably had someone picked for number 1, but did you have a preference on which number you were gonna be?
At first, the role, like, I'm not even joking, I got the script, and the role name was, like, 3 question marks. I'm pretty sure that's what the name was. So I didn't know who I was. I knew I was a test subject based on the scene they sent me, but I didn't know who I was gonna be. I didn't know how many numbers there were. I know at the time there was 8 and 11 because those are who they had shown in the beginning seasons from season 1 to season 2. And so I was just excited to see what happens. I mean, at first I thought that was gonna be the only other number, but then they added, what, 16 more numbers?
Mm,
So that was crazy. I had no idea. They were keeping it very low. I don't blame them. They don't want spoilers.
yeah.
So I was just super psyched to see it.
Did you audition, or was it something that they called you specifically for?
I auditioned and then I went out for the callback and then it went cold for 6 months. They told me that they were just waiting on confirmation to book me from Netflix and the Duffer Brothers. Then it went cold for another 6 months. Then it went cold for like another 5 months. And then they were like, "Hey, you booked it. We're gonna fly you out to Atlanta." And I was like super shocked because it had been a year and a half. And so I was just super excited to hear that news.
How do you deal with that uncertainty? I mean, 18 months of going cold with some moments of hot. How do you deal with that?
I definitely was I started to get a little bit more worried. At first, I was like, "Oh, I poured my heart and soul into this audition. I so hope that I get it." And then I was like, "I'm so gonna get it. I know I'm going to." And then they just kept on being like, we haven't booked you, but we're just waiting." So I started to get a little doubtful, but then, um my mom one day was just like, "Hey, you booked Stranger Things." And I wasn't really paying attention because I was with my cousins, and I don't see them a bunch, so I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I booked Stranger Things, but wait, I booked Stranger Things?" And I was like, "My mom couldn't have said that. There's no way my mom just said that." I was, like, so uncertain that she actually said that, and she did, and I was like, "Wait, I booked Stranger Things?" And then I left the room. I left the room and ran after my mom, and I was like, "Wait, what? I did?" And then I was like, "You know what? I don't believe you. You need to give me proof. I don't believe you." And then my mom called my manager, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, you booked Stranger Things. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And I'm like, "Whoa, Constance has never been this excited. She's never been this hyper. I definitely booked it. There's no way this is a prank." So, I was just super excited when it finally showed up.
That that excitement, is that about getting the gig? Is that about making money? Because it's got to be a good paycheck, right? Especially, I mean, again, you're a kid. You could, in another world, you would have a paper route, right? You're like, I made 18 bucks this month, right? So you're getting paid a substantial amount of money. What is most exciting about it? Is it because of the franchise? Because the franchise, I mean, it's the coolest thing out there right now.
It's not just that I was excited to book the role. It's about how I was a fan of the show beforehand, and I had gone to the season 2 premiere. And so I had loved the show. So for me, it was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet the cast of Stranger Things." I was like so excited. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on the set there live. This is gonna be crazy." As well as I was like, "I'm about to get a bunch of spoilers."
Right?
So those were my 2 thoughts.
And then who stood out, like, on the set that you, I mean, because you guys are all have a lot of downtime. So who did you like to hang out with? Was it number 7? Is it, are they a cool person, or
Um, all of the numbers, they were awesome. All of them I love to hang out with. I still talk to them to this day. Um, but yeah, we actually have a group chat and we talk all the time. Um, but yeah, they were all just super cool. Everyone on set, all the numbers, Matthew Modine, Millie Bobby Brown, they were just all awesome.
have you watched any Matthew Modine movies ever?
I haven't, but I've been told about them a lot, so I'm starting to think I need to go back and watch some.
Well, will you really watch them? I mean, these are movies from 30 years ago. Do you really care about that stuff?
Yeah, I love old movies. I mean, old movies are awesome.
You just called the movies that I grew up with old movies.
Okay, I'm 13. You can calm down.
Yeah, so he made a movie called Vision Quest. It's fantastic. It was such a great movie. It was a cult classic, and it was one of those things where if you were the right age at the right time, it was a magic movie, and he really did a great job. But he played a great form of, gosh, is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? Like he had you on the edge all the time. Did you see that in him, or how did you see him when you guys were working together?
Um, when Well, I was a fan of the show, and so, I'd only seen him as a bad guy, so when I got on set, I was like and he started being nice to everyone. I was like, "Wait, my brain wait, confused. My brain hurt. He's supposed to be the bad guy, and now he's being nice all of a sudden." So, yeah, I definitely thought when we were doing the, scenes, I was like, "Wait, why is he being nice to the kids? They always showed him being mean to them, and he always portrayed the bad guy." But then you see that he's really not, and then it just changed my perspective. I was like, "Wait, is Dr. Brenner supposed to be nice or is he supposed to be mean?" And so it really did change my perspective, and he was just awesome. So as a person, I think he's just cool.
What's the answer though? Is Dr. Brennan nice, or is he mean, or is he conflicted? What would you say? And then does number 10 understand this? What does number 10 think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only person he really has a connection with. He doesn't really get along with anyone else because he's very shy and alone and to himself. But yeah, he thinks he's his father and he sees him as a father figure. And so he loves him. And I think Dr. Brenner is not that bad of a guy. He may have made a couple mistakes. I'll say more than a couple, but yeah, I don't think he's the bad guy.
I have a magic 8 ball story. Would you like?
Ooh.
I asked a girl out on a date, and she took the 8 ball, and she asked, "Should I go on a date with Pete?" And then she shook it up, and then the answer was what was going to be the answer. And it did your does 10 when he shakes the cube same thing? Is it chance, or does he control it with his mind?
He controls it with his mind. All of the toys in the rainbow room either make you use your brain or they make you use your powers. As you can see, most of them are using their powers to do some. Like one is doing a puzzle with a metal ball and they're using their powers to move it. So they are exercises to help you.
But you're also 13, right? And so 10 is about 13. And one thing I know about 13-year-olds is they might shake that ball and purposely not control it with their mind just to be a 13-year-old kid. Piss off Dr. Brett. None of that with number 10. Is he not that mischievous?
He's never been really he's never been introduced to outside world, so the rebellious has never been there. He's never seen anything, so he's been trained kind of like a military soldier to do everything he says and make sure that you understand him and that you just play by the rules. I mean, spoiler alert,
Mhm.
later on, you see that number 2, he gets out of line and he gets electrocuted. Like, he puts an electric collar on him and starts, like, literally electrocuting him. So, I I think that's a good example on don't step out of line.
Yeah, yeah. How are number 10's powers? Would you say, were they towards the top of that group? Were they kind of towards the middle? I mean, obviously 1 and 11 have a lot of power. Where do you rank with that?
I'm actually not too sure. I haven't really thought about that. I know, um 11 beats 2, and 2 had beaten all of the other numbers,
Mhm.
so it would probably be what, I'm gonna do a ranking of
Yeah,
lists after this. You're making me think really
yeah.
hard.
Well, I wanna think
Um,
yeah, let's do it. Let's figure it out. What do you think?
I know it would be probably 1, 11, 2, 3, 4. 5. I think it would just go down the numbers at that point.
Mhm.
But it depends how much training they really have.
And then how much stuff was shot that doesn't make it into the series? I mean, that stuff might have use later on, but, is it like 10 to 1? How much stuff was just left behind and not used, or do you even know?
We shot a lot of different scenes. I think like 1 or 2 scenes were left out,
Mhm.
but, one thing I was super sad about is one of the scenes that were kept in, I actually wasn't in because that day I think I got food poisoning because I just started throwing up a bunch. I know it wasn't COVID because I had taken 3 COVID tests that
Right.
day,
Yeah.
and they all were negative. So, I didn't have COVID, but I just started throwing up a bunch, so
Yeah.
they made me go back to my hotel, and I was super bummed. I was like, "Man, we got, like, 2 takes with me in it," but then I just started throwing up, so I was like, "I hope really badly that they got that 1 take that I was in it," but they didn't. But it's okay.
I would've said, "Hey, keep throwing up," and then got it on film and, like, used it as part of the story. You know, make it like, because it's a horror film, right? And, like, you're gonna make fake puke anyhow, why not use it? Real stuff.
That's
No?
a that's a little disturbing. What about the smell?
Yeah, you're actors. You know, what about when it's cold outside, and you gotta do something in a cold thing? I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, you got me at first with, like,
Yeah.
they could change the story.
Yeah.
I mean, the Duffer Brothers change stuff all the time,
Okay.
but, yeah, I don't know about that last part.
Yeah, and plus, like, movie vomit is always better than real life. How was it working with the Duffer Brothers? What was that like?
It was awesome. Matt and Ross, they were just so cool. They were, um they were always a little shy, though. I thought that was interesting.
Mhm.
They're, like, literally movie stars,
Right.
and they were shy, so I was like, "That's kinda interesting," but, they were awesome. They gave me such, like, amazing compliments on my work that I will remember to this day, so I was just very thankful of that.
Do you get starstruck? Like Paul Reiser, maybe, who knows? Maybe his career doesn't mean anything to you. Matthew Modine, you haven't seen any of his movies, but the Duffer Brothers make such cool stuff that Master of Puppets is cool again. Kate Bush, who was look, and I love Kate Bush. She's awesome. But in the 80s, she wasn't really all that relevant. She's maybe like 150 on the list because you got Tina Turner and Bruce Springsteen, all these people. But the Duffer Brothers are so cool, they made Kate Bush all the way cool, like where she's one of the top acts in the world right now. So, did anybody do you ever feel starstruck, and did anybody in the set make you feel that way?
Um, I don't like to admit it. My dad made fun of me for it because of how, I was like
Yeah.
oh, I was so starstruck is, when I met Millie Bobby Brown, I
Uh-huh.
was like, because I love her work. She's such a good actor,
Yeah.
and she was just so nice as a person. I was, like, so starstruck when I met her. So, that was
That
awesome.
but, I mean, if you would have met her, I don't know, 6 years ago, she'd just be some kid, right? She wouldn't be that person. So, this can happen, anybody, and for you, like you've had for someone who's 13, you've had a lot of success, right? But and your publicist has, like, your ranking on IMDb was, I don't know, somewhere way down low, and now it's, like, way high, like, in an instant, and then you're a minor player in this movie, right? So if you 5 years from now have that kind of Miley Bobby Brown success, what kind of person are you gonna be when people meet you on the street?
I'll always be thankful for fans. They're always amazing. Um, but yeah, I think that'd just be super cool. I'd be cool with I'd take a video, take a picture, sign an autograph, whatever they want.
Mhm.
Just because I don't want to be one of those like mean actors. I mean, not saying that I've met one or know
Right.
of any, but I don't want to be like caught up in all the fame that I think they aren't worth my time because they are. They're the reason I've gotten here. So, I'd always do whatever I could to give back to them.
There's a real thing in Hollywood where you can be a fantastically successful author. You've done some work on daytime dramas. There's people that do 50 years in that genre on the same show. There's people that make fantastic livings where everything is, they're I mean, wealthy, right? And what they do is they do part roles on procedurals their entire career, right? So they never really get to own a project, but they're always called upon to act. Do you do you even care what kind of actor you'll be as you get older? I mean, do you like if you just did procedurals the rest of your life, right? And you're every 2 weeks you're booking a new show and you work 20 weeks out of the year and you make a load of money doing that. Would that be enough for you?
I'd always want the experience of new roles, so that would definitely help me
Mhm.
progress in acting. Acting wise, not anything else, but just the experience. I would love it and it would be cool, but I don't know. We'll see what type of actor I become. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Let me go back to Stranger Things. And this is a bit of a silly question, but I'm fascinated by these things. How are the craft services? And craft services is hard to do now because of COVID, right? It's like it's got to be a lot different. But what's your weakness? And then how was the craft services for that show?
Um, it was super cool, but one thing
Mhm.
is I love going to craft services, but because there were so many children, they had all the numbers grouped up, so you couldn't just go on your own. You would have to go with everyone.
Right.
So you couldn't just go and grab them whenever. So that was probably my weakness.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't really that difficult because you would just tell the person what you want and they would have two people there. They would just put gloves on and then hand whatever you wanted to them. But yeah.
What's your go-to snack on set?
Sun chips.
Sun chips. What's the thing that you have to resist all the time that there's a big old bucket of red vines. What are you trying to resist all the time?
Gum. I don't know what it is about gum, but I've just loved it my whole life. I
Yeah.
just love gum. I will take 20 packs if I could.
Do you have to think to be conscious about the digestive process? Like as you get older, your stomach works in different ways and everything. You're like, oh man, we're going on set, in an hour. I can't have anything else to eat. So I got to make sure I power in some food now. Or do you have to not even worry about that?
Um, you know, I can eat a whole buffet and I'll still gain like no weight at
Mhm.
all. I tested it. I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go to Thanksgiving. I'm gonna eat as much as I can
Yeah.
till I barf, and then I'll weigh myself." And I didn't even gain a pound. I was
Right.
confused. But I definitely have to eat beforehand. I have to eat breakfast, even if it's not something I want to eat. I have to
Yeah.
eat it, just so that way I'm not hungry throughout the day because you only get think it's 3 no, I think it's 2 meals.
Mhm.
You get breakfast and lunch, and then usually they let you go by the time it's dinner.
How do you prep for the role of 10? You got the script and everything. And again, like from my perspective, as I watch it on TV, it's like you're mostly sitting there sort of emotionless, right? Because you're this not an automaton, but that's kind of the thing you're doing. So how do you prep for this role? Do you go through lines with your mom and dad? Do you do it with your friends? What do you do?
Yeah, my dad could probably tell you if you asked him. I'd run that first scene, I'd run those lines with him probably 200 times before I went to bed. I was just like, "Hey, dad, can we run my lines again? Hey, can we run my lines again? Hey, can we run my lines again?" Like, I think he started to get annoyed because
Yeah.
I knew I had them down. He knew I had them down. I just kept on running them over and over and over and over just to make sure I was prepared because this was my there was only one chance to do this big of a role right now, so
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure that I had nailed it down.
Did you learn a lesson from that? Were you over prepared? Did you put your mom and dad through too much? Did you put yourself through too much? I mean, once you have it, right? Do you know when that is?
Um, I mean, if you're subconscious about yourself and you don't realize it, then you'll definitely become over prepared and then you'll start losing it and your ability to act it, then it'll just not be as good. So I had to look and be like, okay, I'm over preparing this. I need to stop. I need to go to sleep. It's like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I need to stop reading my lines, go to bed,
Yeah.
wake up, do it. I'll be fine, and then we can go and see how it goes.
Do you go to regular school? Or do you get a tutor, or how do you do that?
I'm homeschooled, so they have a set teacher on set for me.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure legally you have to have a set teacher.
Yeah.
Um,
But what about when you're not on set?
when I'm not on set, I'm homeschooled through a charter school,
Okay.
so I have a teacher that checks up on me every month or so, making sure that I have everything done that I was supposed to do that month for school. And yeah, my mom and dad help me with my school though.
Do you feel like one of the things that happens when you're successful, you start making way more money than the average person does at a pretty early age, and all of a sudden, like, high school really, honestly, isn't all that important. Like, you're not like, "I can't get a job," but you're already getting jobs. So, do you do you have a plan to, like, get through fast? Are you just gonna enjoy it? Do you think you'll take time off from acting and just go enjoy senior year? What are your thoughts on school?
Yeah, I definitely I wanna go to high school. Um, I'm sure I will get some jobs during then, and I'll have to take some time off, but I'll be able to do the same school I'd be doing at home on set.
Mhm.
Legally, you have to do 3 hours, and if you don't do 3 hours, then you have to make up hours the next day. So I'll still be doing the same thing, um, unless I'm going to college or I'm going to high school.
Yeah.
So that would be the only difference, but, I think it'll be okay.
A lot of times you can't talk about this stuff, but I'm gonna ask because, oh, maybe you can. If it took 18 months to book Stranger Things, is there something else out there, a project where you're like, "Oh, man, I hope I get this," but you just may not know for another year, 'cause, movies, they can take 10. Ford versus Ferrari took 10 years to get made. 10 years, right? And so you can be named as something for a long time. Is there anything out there that you hope that you get, that you have a shot
Um John Wick 4. I'd love to get it. It could take 10 years, I'd still want it. For those 10 years, I'd call him up every
at?
day
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
of those 10 years. That's what, like, over 1,000 days?
uh-huh.
That's 10 that'd be, like, 3,600 days. I'd call him up, every day. "Hey, am I booked it? Hey, have I booked it? Hey, have I booked it?" Every day. I mean, I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I love the John Wick series. I wanna be in it so bad.
It's funny, a guy who's become a friend of the show, his name's Chad Michael Collins. He picked up, there was a guy named Tom Berenger, was an actor who was a guy, he was the sniper, and the sniper kinda ages out, and then so Chad becomes his son in the series, and he took over the franchise, and there's probably been 5 or 6 of those things. And so maybe you can become John Wick's son. You'd be like, Craig Wick or whatever his name's gonna be. That'd be pretty cool, right?
That'd be awesome. I mean, I might have to pitch the idea to
Yeah,
them.
right. I like it. Yeah, you're his illegitimate son from some tryst in whatever, Bangkok or somewhere, right? Yes, that'd be awesome. Do you want your dad directs, your mom writes? Do you want to stay in acting, or do you think you'll transition into the other aspects of the creative?
I've been asked that a lot, and the more they ask, the more I really think about it. I think I will try directing, at some point. I'll see if I like it. If I don't, then I'll go back to acting, but I've seen a lot of actors start going towards directing, so, I'll probably join in, see what it's all about, and see if I like it.
When I was 13, 1983, I did a lot of dumb stuff. One of the things I did is actually had a paper out, and we were going to go see a movie, and it was the summer, right around July, right about now. It could have been like 35 years ago today. And, I hopped on my buddy's bike and I ran up to my house. And I lived like you, I lived on a hill, right? You live on a
Mhm.
very busy street. I didn't live on a busy street. But I rode up to my house, about 5 or 6 houses, grabbed a wad of cash, my paper route, because we are gonna go to the movies. Grabbed my shoes because I didn't have shoes on because it was the summer. I had my money and my shoes in one hand and then my buddy's bike. And then I hopped on the bike and I go zooming down the hill as fast as I could. And, I realized I've never ridden my buddy's bike before. And what if it didn't have brakes? And it didn't. So so I had to, make a decision. Remember, my shoes are in my hand, and I had to use my bare feet to stop my bike. Yeah,
Ooh.
it was really painful. That's what 13-year-olds do. What kind of dumb stuff do you do? You must do dumb things. You're like, "I am an idiot," because I knew I was a huge idiot.
Um, I can tell you a story, but
Yeah,
it's
you don't have to tell your dad. We'll tell him to leave if you want.
but, it's pretty gory.
Yeah. Well, you were
Um,
vomiting in the room earlier, so it can't be too
okay.
bad. Yeah.
It's just it's very detailed on how I got injured,
Yeah.
so um be careful.
Yes.
Um I one time was at a friend's house and they had a treadmill and I had never really seen treadmills before. I was like, "Oh, cool, a treadmill." So, I was playing with this little girl and then we both hopped on the treadmill at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I fell off,
Oh, no.
but I fell off halfway.
Oh, no.
So my back was on the treadmill and there was a couch next to it, so my legs got stuck under the
Oh,
couch
no.
and my back was still on the treadmill and it was running, so it just started tearing all my back skin off
Yeah.
and it just kept on tearing for like 3 minutes until an adult saw me and then they were like, "Oh my gosh," and then they stopped it and picked me up, and I had to sleep on my stomach for, like, months, and then my mom bandaged me up, but it was adhesive, it had
Yeah.
adhesive on it, and, yeah, that's when we learned I was allergic to adhesive.
Oh, wow.
So
You added
that
that
was
too.
awesome, it ripped all the skin that had grown back on my back, yeah, that ripped all off, so that was pretty dumb of me.
I love it. I love it. I love that you went along for the ride. That's fantastic. What's, um, what's your favorite thing and then your least favorite thing about acting?
Favorite thing. I get to meet awesome actors that are my idols, and I really like love seeing all their work, and I get to work with them.
Yeah.
Least favorite thing, I don't get to eat all the crafty.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Do you have a fitness regimen you have to maintain, or do you like not really worry about that? Eat all of Thanksgiving dinner and not gain any weight.
Yeah, I used to not have to eat any like I used to not be able to eat too much sugar just because I get super hyper, but now I'm not bouncing off the walls. I don't
Yeah.
think I have the energy to bounce off the walls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, not really.
What about stuff like dating and everything? Like when I was 13, if you put me near girls, I was like, I was going to try to talk to them. I was going to try to turn them into my girlfriend. That's just what I did all the time. And it wasn't like I was crazy or anything, but just, that's just what I was. Okay, we're at work, we're wherever we're at the pool, there's girls over there. I'm going over there to talk to those girls, right? So, how is that for you as you try to figure out like all of those things? Do you feel like is it, you know, if I had a job at Kentucky Fried Chicken, I met a girl there and I was 14. I was only a little bit older than you, right? So can you meet someone on set? I mean, I know adults do all the time, but you're a knucklehead. You're 13, right? Are you supposed to be talking to girls or guys or whoever it is that you're into? Or is that not a thing on set yet?
Um, I have 3 sisters
Yeah.
and I have a bunch of cousins, so I'm used to talking to females. So I really don't see them as like, "Oh, I'm gonna make them into my girlfriend," just because I've I'm not like trying to make fun of you or anything.
Yeah, yeah, no, you can, it's fine.
Um
I'm ridiculous, so that's fine.
I've never looked at them like that
Yeah.
because I talk to girls casually every day, so
Mhm.
I never
Yeah.
really saw them like that. But
Mhm.
something that was interesting is my dad works at an after school program and then he took me with him one time and all these girls were freaking out that I was there and I was like, "Well, I've never had that happen." And then they were like being all crazy and so that was interesting.
This is the other thing though, right? Like, this is where that question leads is how do you deal with the fact that you're number 10? And you're always gonna be number 10. People are gonna watch this series over and over again. You go to Comic-Con, people are gonna study every single thing. They're gonna ask you a million detailed questions. These girls are gonna be hyperventilating when they talk to you, literally, right? So, how do you keep your head about you? How do you stay nice? How do but also how do you say no and protect yourself?
That's saying no is usually why you have PR or an adult or someone you feel comfortable with that will
Mhm.
know what you do and don't want. So that way you can stay protected and make sure that you aren't doing anything you're not comfortable with
Yeah.
or something that you just don't want to do in general. So that's how you do it. And then your other question, what was your other question?
No, just the dealing with like keep not getting a big head. You have girls coming up hyperventilating, wanting you to sign their shirt or whatever crazy things crazy girls think of when they see a boy they're crazy about, right? Which is all normal, except for you have to be on the other end of that abnormal aspect of
Yeah, I just think it's super cool that people admire me, and I think it's awesome. I'll never get tired of it. I mean, I just think it's super cool.
it. Your dad does after school stuff. That means he's got a heart towards charity and wants to do something special. What's important to you in terms of charity?
I think it's important to give back from a very young age. I never really understood how lucky I was to have what I do, but then I realized that I am very lucky, and so I wanted to give back. And so anytime we can, we do.
Okay. What do you do?
Uh well, most of the time we either get granola bars or like crackers or something like that, and we keep them in our car, and whenever we drive by homeless people or someone in need, we give them out, and we just always have them.
Right, right. Let me talk to the audience for a second. Hey, this is Pete. Uh, the Ride for the Brave is coming up next Friday. So a week from today, I'll be taking off with Scott Husing and a whole bunch of maniacs. We're going to drive across the country raising money for Save the Brave. It's called Ride for the Brave. I'm going to put the link in here. Just go to savethebrave.org and click on the events thing, or you can go to the fundraising site, and we will be going across the nation. We're going to stop in Tucson, El Paso, Odessa, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, Birmingham, Atlanta, and then Charleston. So if you want to get involved, you can. You can come out and meet us at any one of those cities. We're driving anywhere near you. We'd love to meet you and see you. If you want to give, go to the link that's on the screen right down there, down below, and that would mean a lot to me. I'm dedicating this year's ride to my brother who passed away. His birthday is going to happen during the ride, so that'll be a big day for me to kind of sit there and think about my brother as we do this charitable ride. So we're trying to raise $100,000 this year, and we're off to a great start. We haven't even started. We're still a week out. We're on the way and going. So it'd be great to have your guys' support. If nothing else, just call me. If you know my number, just call me. I'll be driving all day, and I'll be needing the company. All right, let me get back over here to Christian. Christian, you've been asked a zillion questions. What should I have asked you already?
Um, I don't know. It depends what you wanna hear.
What's the most interesting thing about you?
I play hockey,
Okay, all right. So that's your and ice hockey, roller hockey. What kind?
ice hockey.
Would you ever consider playing bottom of the pool hockey? They
What's
have
that?
that. Yeah, you go down to the bottom of the pool and you play hockey at the bottom of the pool. And so you dive down, you move the puck, and then you're like, I got to breathe, and you go back up.
Wow, I've never heard of that. I've heard like broom hockey, but like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's super cool. I think that would be really hard though, because like as you're trying to get your momentum, the water's like forcing you back, so
You
that'd
play
be a
with the
little hard.
hand like a stick. It's almost like shuffleboard.
So it's like pool the game in a
Kind of,
actual pool.
but it's hockey. And so you dive down and then you get to where the puck is and you shove it with your stick for as long as you can. And you're like, I got to breathe. And you go, and you're usually pretty deep. So it's not like 5 foot, it's like 12 foot. So you got to go back to the top.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. That's really cool. Did you make that up now?
No, no, they
Really?
at my pool in Orange County, they actually have it there. It's a game from the olden days. It's been around for a long time, but I was surprised to see that they had it. You mentioned hockey, so I had to bring it up because it is an abnormal form of that game. So, have you played roller hockey and have you played broomball?
Broomball, yes. I have not played roller hockey. I've roller skated before. That's
Mhm.
like a bunch of times. But no, I haven't.
How did you get into hockey? You're in Southern California. The beach is 8 seconds that way, right? How did you get into hockey?
I don't know. My mom was just one day she was like, "You know what? I think you'd like ice skating." And I was like, "No, I won't." And my mom was like, "You're going to like ice skating." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to."
Yeah.
And then I tried it, and then my mom was like, "You liked it." And I was like, "I did."
I did. What kind of hockey player are you? I hope that you're like a nasty, like punch him in the mouth kind of guy. That's what I hope you're going to say. What kind of hockey player are you?
No, I'm not. I
Damn
mean,
it. Uh-huh.
one
All
time,
right.
my sister smacked me in the face with her hockey stick,
Well, she had it coming then.
and I just had to smack her back.
That's the
One
least.
time.
That is the least Claude Lemieux answer ever. You're supposed to be like, and then I hit her in the mouth with the stick. Why do you like hockey?
It's just fun. I love the cold.
Mhm.
Um, but I just find that it's a very fun sport, and I just played it for so long that I got used to it and got pretty good at it. So, and I like things that I'm good at.
Do you think you'll continue to play into high school, maybe beyond? Like, is this a game for
Um,
the rest of your life?
you know, I probably can't just because I've been told multiple times not to ruin anything on my face
Mhm.
because I'm an actor. So I'm not sure if I can play it like too long because, well, as you get older, it becomes more aggressive and more aggressive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll probably find another sport.
There's a lot of actors that play hockey, though. I'm sure there's gotta be an actor league around here for, like, those guys, come from Canada,
I don't know. We'll
you
see.
know, wear a cage or something. Okay, so if not hockey, what are you gonna do for your, like, physical outlet then?
Um, I'm not sure. I know I was gonna start working out
Mhm,
just to get upper body strength.
mhm.
Um, but physical, I love running around a bunch.
Yeah, yeah. I wanna wrap it up. Everybody definitely should go watch Stranger Things. Do I need to say that? I mean, the Duffer Brothers, do I need to tell you guys to go to Netflix and watch Stranger Things? The thing that's the most interesting that your dad and I were talking about was, someone leaked those magic few minutes you got with Matthew Modine, and I wonder if you would tell us a little bit about that story for those that don't know it, and then what has that meant for you? Has this been a good thing, bad thing, or whatever?
When my mom told me, once again, I didn't believe her.
Yeah,
She was like, "Someone leaked it," and I was like, "Oh, someone leaked the picture," and my mom was like, "No, someone actually leaked the full scene," and I was like, "What?
yeah,
No." And then I looked it up and they did, and I was like, "Oh my goodness." I started watching it and like 10 seconds in, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't watch this. I have to wait till the day it comes out." I
yeah,
had to. I just I couldn't wait, but I was like, "No, I have to wait." I don't know what it was about it, but I just started watching it and I was like, "No, I have to wait."
yeah,
But
and has this been a good thing for your career or bad? I mean, obviously, you didn't leak it, so you're not gonna get in trouble for that, but has it been a benefit as people, like, are because they so badly wanna watch Stranger Things, right? And there you are, the thing they're watching.
um I think it's a good thing because when they leaked it, I was allowed to tell everyone. I could
Right.
tell everyone in the world, and I wasn't allowed to tell anyone before, so nobody knew I was in Stranger Things. So
Mhm.
then I told all my friends, and they were like, "No, you aren't. The season's not even out yet." And I'm like, "Yeah," but they leaked the first like it was what the first like 8 minutes of
Yeah.
the first episode, and I showed them on YouTube, and they were like,
Oh my
"You're in
gosh.
Stranger Things," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not lying."
Did they have to go run and ask their mom if it was true?
To be honest, I think they probably did afterwards.
Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, anything in closing, anything else you wanna cover before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I was wondering if you speak Russian.
I don't speak Russian. I understand. So the bigger question is, I used to be a spy in the army, and so I understand a lot of language, but a little of a lot of languages. So I understand a lot of Serbo-Croatian from my time in Bosnia, but no, I don't speak Russian. Although I probably know a couple hundred words. Yeah. Why?
Your shirt, it's your show in Russian.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, it is. It's, my guys who work on the show with me there in Macedonia, and they use the Cyrillic alphabet. So I translate, break it down show. And everybody should get a break it down show shirt. Go to the breakitdownshow.com or just go to breakitdownshow.com and go to the store. You'll see all the shirts there. The Russian one for sure is in there. What other questions do you have? I've asked you questions for almost an hour here. What else do you want to ask me?
Um, Nothing really.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up then. Everybody stand by.
Hey, thanks for watching the show. I really appreciate it. Right here, you can subscribe. Please do that. It makes the show grow. Hit that notification bell so you know which incredible guest is coming up next. Down below is the PayPal link. You can put a small subscription in. That is an enormous help. All that money goes right back into the show. And then right up over here are the next episodes you should listen to, curated by yours truly. Thank you so much.